Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to 90 Day Fiancé latest news. In their comfortable living room, Adnan Abdel Fattah stood in front of the full-length mirror, his thinning hair shining brightly in the early sunlight that poured in through the windows. Obsessively, he ran his fingers through it while moaning to himself about how unfair life is. Every time he ran his hands over his scalp, his shoulders drooped, highlighting the widening spaces where hair used to grow. His whispers and the gentle clinking of Tigerlily Taylor's spoon as she stirred sugar into her tea were the only sounds in the home. Sitting cross-legged on the couch, she watched him warily. Her brow was furrowed as she examined her husband's reflection, and her dark hair cascaded over her shoulders in loose waves. Although she had witnessed him stressing over his appearance before, it had become nearly daily in recent years. She called softly, "Adnan," her voice piercing his mumbling. He didn't answer. He squinted at his hairline from every angle as he tipped his head to the left, and then the right. Finally, with a hint of terror in his voice, he stated, "It's worse than yesterday. Worse than this morning. Wait. I feel as though my hair is pulling back. Do you believe that stress is accelerating it? Perhaps I ought to attempt yoga or meditation." Tigerlily folded her arms and put down her tea. "Your hair isn't pulling back, Adnan. It's simply changing." She made an effort to smile, but the joke didn't work. "Changing?" His eyes were wide and disbelieving as he turned to face her. "This isn't evolution, Tigerlily. It's a crisis. A disaster. What happens to reality TV celebrities who lose their appearance? They are forgotten. Younger, more attractive versions of themselves took their place." Tigerlily let out a long sigh and reclined on the sofa. One of the things that first drew her to her husband was his passion, which she cherished, but his penchant for the dramatic could be draining. "You're being absurd, Adnan. Because you're genuine, humorous, and endearing, people adore you. That has nothing to do with your hair." With a laugh devoid of humor, he looked back at the mirror. "It's simple for you to say. You're flawless. In the meantime, I'm becoming a middle-aged man who appears to own a cheap kebab shop." Tigerlily got up from the sofa and approached him. She grounded him by putting a hand on his shoulder. "Hear me out," she replied quietly. "You're not disintegrating. You're dealing with a situation that millions of individuals face. And you know what? There are answers." Adnan's countenance was doubtful as he gazed at her in the mirror. "Solutions? Such as? Wonder serums for hair growth? Snake oil?" "No," she firmly stated. "I'm referring to practical answers. I had a conversation with Dr. Patel. He performs plastic surgery. He specializes in non-invasive techniques including hair transplants to restore a person's sense of self." Adnan's mouth fell open, and he looked her in the face. "A plastic surgeon? I'm not trying to seem like a mannequin, Tigerlily. I don't want a whole new face. I just want my old hair back." Tigerlily shook her head and chuckled in spite of herself. "Adnan, nobody is proposing a completely different face. The only goal is to give you a tiny lift. The other possibilities are subtle, nothing extreme, and the hair transplant is straightforward. Just improvements to boost your self-esteem." His gaze flitted from her to the mirror as he paused. "I'm not sure. Surgery? Isn't that going a little too far?" With a gentle yet strong tone, she stated, "It's not about changing who you are. The goal is to restore your sense of self-confidence. I'll be by your side the entire time if this is what you want. It's not necessary for you to accomplish it alone." Adnan was silent for a while. He studied the creases on his face, the balding areas of his hair, and the worn-out look that seemed to have grown permanent when he turned to face his reflection. At last, he gave a nod. "All right," he murmured softly. "Let's get it done." The next week, Adnan and Tigerlily ended up in Dr. Patel's spotless, contemporary office. Certificates and framed pictures of patients whose changes appeared almost too good to be true dotted the walls. Adnan shifted uneasily in his chair and fidgeted with his jacket zipper. Dr. Patel smiled warmly as he walked in, and his presence immediately made everyone feel better. "It's a pleasure to meet you both, Mr. Abdel Fattah and Mrs. Taylor. Let's discuss what we can do to help you." Adnan tried to hide his nervousness by launching into a barrage of self-deprecating remarks. "Well, Doc, that would be a good place to start if you could prevent my hair from going bad more quickly than a plate of shawarma at a family dinner." Dr. Patel laughed, his manner courteous and expert. "You're in the proper location. The results of hair transplants can be very natural, and the procedure has advanced significantly. We can preserve your distinctive traits while restoring your hairline and density." Tigerlily added in a helpful tone, "How about a few minor face enhancements? Just to give him a little fresh air." Adnan gave her a look that was half disgusted and half amused. Refresh me? A wilting salad, what am I? Dr. Patel reassured him and laughed once more. It all comes down to balance. We want to improve what you already have, not alter who you are. You'd be shocked to learn how minor changes may have a significant impact on confidence. Adnan nodded, his anxiety starting to subside. All right, document. Let's get this done. Just assure me that I won't resemble one of those face-immobile reality stars. Dr. Patel smiled and added, I swear. The weeks that followed were packed with surgeries, appointments, and recuperation. Throughout it all, Tigerlily supported Adnan, encouraging him and reminding him of the eventual result whenever he became impatient or unsure. The day finally came for Adnan to witness the complete effects of his metamorphosis. He carefully removed the bandages while standing in front of the mirror, exposing a healthier, fuller hairline. His face appeared more radiant and renewed, yet it was still distinctly his. His eyes were wide with amazement as he gazed at his mirror. Is this me? Tigerlily moved to stand next to him, beaming. Adnan, it's you. Just a little more self-assured, but still the same you I've always loved. Adnan turned to face her, emotion glimmering in his eyes. I'm grateful, Tigerlily, for having faith in me despite my inability to do so. She pulled him into a tight embrace as she put her arms around him. At all times, let's get you back on television now. The new Adnan Abdel Fattah is not yet ready for the world. Adnan chuckled, his voice full of self-assurance. I'm not either, but let's still do it. The future seemed more promising than ever as they left the room hand in hand. Adnan felt like the celebrity he had always been for the first time in months. Not because of how he looked, but rather because of the love and support that had seen him through. This gossip is over. If you liked the video, then give your opinion in the comment box and stay with us by subscribing the channel. Thank you.